Welcome to our deep dive into the searing lore of Dungeons & Dragons Firenewts. In this video, we'll explore their origins, ecology, society, and most notably, their complex relationships with the fire deities Korsuth and In-Ix. Prepare for a journey that blazes from the fiery depths of the Underdark to the volcanic peaks of Faerun. The Firenewts' true origin is shrouded in mystery, even to the greatest sages. Some posit they evolved from lizard folk exposed to the magical flux of the Firelands. Others whisper of ancient arcane experiments gone awry. What is certain, the Firenewts first emerged in the Firelands, volcanic tunnels below Chult connected to the elemental plane of fire through the Burning Rift. The Burning Rift is not merely a geological curiosity. It's a churning tunnel of molten rock riddled with portals to the elemental plane of fire. Its scalding environment shaped the Firenewts, imbuing them with resistance to heat and inuring them to pain. A key reason why their society is built around the sanctity and supremacy of fire. To survive in the Firelands, Firenewts developed unique physiological traits. Their mottled sepia scales and dark, glistening eyes help them thrive in the roiling heat and dim volcanic tunnels. They breathe gouts of fire as a natural defense, making them dangerous even when unarmed. However, extreme cold debilitates them. The mere absence of heat is their greatest foe. From their volcanic origin, Firenewts soon raided upwards through lava tubes into the infamous Peaks of Flame. This trio of volcanic mountains in Chult became their surface stronghold. From here, they sallied forth, their numbers multiplying as they conquered and adapted to new fiery domains. Historians believe the Firenewts' emergence coincided with the First Flowering, an ancient epoch of the realms. The conquering Yuan-Ti recognized their martial prowess and employed them as rank-and-file shock troops in their own armies. But the Firenewts, ever treacherous, soon spread independently throughout the continent. Once the Yuan-Ti's empire crumbled, Firenewts splintered into isolated colonies across Faerun. Most established new homes in volcanic peaks, deserts, and places of geothermal activity. Others journeyed back to Chult and helped establish enduring tribes in the Peaks of Flame and the tunnels of the Firelands. Their culture is unmistakably sadistic. Firenewts delight in torture and consider the suffering of sentient beings not just entertainment, but a delicacy preceding their next meal. Their reputation as Marauders is well earned. They're infamous for raiding and ambushing all who dare wander into volcanic badlands. Carnivory is central to Firenewt life. Humanoids are their preferred prey, especially humans, elves, and dwarves. Roasting victims alive is traditional, as Firenewts believe that pain flavors the meat. In lean times, they'll resort to hunting beasts or even cannibalizing rival Firenewts. The martial prowess of the Firenewt cannot be overstated. Their favorite tactic is the hammer and anvil. A small, fast unit disables enemies' mounts, drawing attention away from a larger force that sweeps in from the flanks. Mounted warfare is a Firenewt hallmark, and their deadliest asset is the giant strider, a creature uniquely suited to their fiery lifestyles. The giant strider, a strange biped with an affinity for heat and an ability to spit flames, is the Firenewts' only domesticated mount. Legend says these mounts were given as a gift, perhaps by Imvernero, a red dragon, or perhaps by In-Ix himself. Firenewts breed, ride, and in time, eat their mounts when they age or become injured. Firenewt society is a militaristic theocracy, typically ruled by an overlord who commands warriors and priests alike. Priests of their tribe's chosen firelord, Korsuth or In-Ix, act as adjudicators, executioners, teachers, and keepers of their valuable heated hatching grounds. These societies are fiercely competitive. Rivalry, betrayal, and even murder are commonplace. As for languages, Firenewts commonly speak Draconic and Ignan, reflecting their elemental origins. Elite castes and priests may understand Common, but tend to avoid it, preferring to keep their society insular and secretive. Firenewts are competent miners and fire alchemists. Their lairs boast channels for warm water, mines for minerals, and forges where volcanic glass and metal are worked. These technological achievements are typically for military or religious use, bolstering the tribe's power or their idols to Karsuth or Imix. Their lairs are marvels of adaptation, featuring intricate channels and sluices to circulate hot water. Firenewts require this heated water not just to thrive, but to breed. Prolonged deprivation leads to hibernation or death. This need governs their raiding patterns and the selection of lair sites. The hatching chambers, hidden, closely guarded, and seared with volcanic heat, are the heart of Firenewt lairs. Destroying a rival tribe's hatching grounds is considered a crowning triumph, and such raids are accompanied by vicious violence. Firenewt eggs, along with those of their mounts, must remain close to heat, or they risk death and hibernation, highlighting their reliance on fiery environments. If a newborn Firenewt cannot escape its egg within a minute, it is seen as an ill omen, blamed on Karsuth's displeasure, and is promptly sacrificed. The cold-hearted logic of natural selection, magnified and ritualized by religious dogma, is ever present in Firenewt culture. One of the most fascinating aspects of their culture is their cruel rites of passage. Young Firenewts are submerged in cold water. Those who endure the agony and emerge silent are deemed worthy to become priests. Failure leads to death, a demonstration of the Firenewt's reverence for resilience and pain. Firenewt law is harsh and pragmatic. Murder and theft of food are grave crimes, but still fairly common. Death sentences involve protracted torture, and the condemned are often fed alive to their own mounts, a reminder that even within their own ranks, mercy is in short supply. But what of their faith? The largest and most widespread tradition venerates Karsuth, the Fire Lord, god of elemental fire and purification through flame. Firenewt clergy, called the Chalices of Brass, insist their race was freed by Karsuth from the world serpent and imbued with living flame. Their golden idols of Karsuth are melted and reforged as the tribe grows, a visible measure of their devotion. Firenewt priests of Karsuth oversee nearly every aspect of tribal life, from selecting honored victims for sacrifice to governing food distribution, mount breeding, and the arcane art of fire alchemy. Unlike other Karsuthan sects, within Firenewt society, only the Chalices of Brass dictate faith and ritual. A sect of Firenewts, however, rejects Karsuth in favor of Imix, the Prince of Evil Fire. In these tribes, warlocks supplant priests and worship is fueled by destruction, wrath, and rampant aggression. Followers of Imix aspire to become touched by the Fire Lord, warriors inflamed with supernatural rage and destructive power. Imix, the Archelemental of Fire, is older than the world and embodies the chaotic, malevolent force of all-consuming flame. Imix uses Firenewts as expendable agents, sending them forth to stoke endless conflict and annihilate his foes. Tribes loyal to Imix are more warlike, marked by frequent raids and ritual sacrifices. The rivalry between Karsuth and Imix is echoed in Firenewt culture. Karsuth represents ordered, purifying fire, while Imix embodies untamed destruction. Many Firenewt tribes detest each other, erupting into internecine wars fueled by doctrinal differences and the ambitions of their respective spiritual leaders. In rare instances, Firenewts have converted to rival faiths or been taken in by coatl, but such stories are the exception, not the rule. Most Firenewts remain fiercely loyal to their chosen Fire Lord, with conversions often met by violence or exile. A remarkable event in Firenewt history occurred during the time of Troubles when Karsuth chose as an avatar named Char-San in the Burning Rift. Char-San, a Firenewt blackguard, led a brutal war against the terror folk of Chult, and was later rewarded by Karsuth, transformed into a death flame, an undead overlord who ruled the dominant Akhtar tribe. Firenewts have also worked with humanoid fire cultists. Several prominent mercenary companies offered their services to the Church of Karsuth, eventually being absorbed as temple guardians and living icons of Karsuth's power. Thus, Firenewts aren't just isolated raiders. They can be encountered serving as fierce clerical protectors in some Karsuthan temples. Outside their volcanic homelands, Firenewts can be found in fiery or desert environments across Toril, from Mount Hotanau in the north to the Lake of Steam and the deserts of Rorin. In these places, they often clash with local humanoids, steal livestock, and remain a persistent, fiery threat. The Firenewts' relationship with other elemental creatures is complex. They keep few slaves, mostly for labor. However, they often serve or are enslaved by powerful Ifriti fire giants and salamanders. Within the city of Brass on the elemental plane of fire, many Firenewts can be found laboring in the rookery, eking out a harsh existence following whatever archemental claims their loyalty. The Firenewts' relationship with the broader world is adversarial. Most creatures are viewed as either food or foes, with few exceptions made for those strong enough to command their service. This insular mindset ensures Firenewts remain poorly understood outside scholarly or adventuring circles. To sum up, Firenewts are a race forged in fire, literally and culturally. Their society, faith, and biology are all shaped by the crucible of volcanic heat and their relationships to Karsuth and Imix. They are at heart the ultimate survivors of fire. Adventurers should beware. Firenewt tactics are cunning, their cruelty is legendary, and their loyalty to their fire lords is absolute. Whether as foes, reluctant allies of fire cults, or guardians of flaming temples, they remain one of D&D's most memorable reptilian threats. So next time your party hears the hiss of steam and the tramp of reptilian feet in a volcanic cavern, remember the lore of the Firenewt. There's a depth to these creatures worthy of the most flame-forged campaign. Thanks for watching, and blaze onwards, fellow seekers!